You know, we've all filled out a visitor form at some point, right? It's usually just a formality. But what if that form wasn't about liability but was literally about life and death? Today, we're going to go deep underground, not by actually descending into a mine, but by deconstructing its visitor induction form. And what it reveals is a hidden world of incredible dangers and strict survival protocols. So this one document from Pubia Mining, it really gets at a fundamental question. What does it truly take to set foot in a place where the environment itself is a constant threat? This form gives us the answer. So let's dive in and find out. Okay, so the very first thing you learn is that when you go underground, you basically give up all your autonomy. From the moment you step in, there is one single unbreakable rule. You are never, ever alone. Yeah, the rules for a visitor? They really boil down to one simple thing. Your host is in charge, period. This person isn't a tour guide. They're your lifeline. You don't touch anything, you don't drive anything, and you follow every single direction they give you. Your survival is literally in their hands, because down there, experience is everything. And as a visitor, you've got zero. All right, before you can even think about entering, you have to get dressed for the occasion. And we're not talking about a uniform here. We're talking about armor. So this is the bare minimum, your personal protective equipment. And trust me, every single piece is absolutely critical. You've got safety glasses for flying debris, steel-capped boots for the rough ground, and a high-vis vest because in that darkness, being seen is just as important as being able to see. Your cap lamp is your only source of light. Without it, you are in complete and total blackness. But there's one more piece of gear that really stands out. And that piece of gear is the self-rescue pack. Now, this is not something for everyday use. It's a small device on your belt with a limited supply of breathable air. It is your absolute last resort. If the air down there suddenly becomes toxic from smoke or gas, this little thing is the only thing keeping you alive long enough to get out. Just think about that for a moment. Okay, so you're all geared up. Next step, you gotta check in. But this isn't about security in the way we usually think of it. It's the mind's only way of knowing who is inside at any given time. And making a simple mistake here, well, the consequences can be huge. The system itself sounds super simple, right? You put your card on the board when you go in, you take it off when you come out. But it is an absolutely critical headcount system. Look, if an emergency happens, the first thing rescuers do is look at that board. If your card is still on it, they are sending a team in to find you, no questions asked. Forgetting to take your card off could trigger a massive false alarm, sending people into real danger to look for someone who's already safe. All right, we're geared up, we're checked in. Now we're actually stepping into the mine itself. And this is where the tone of the form really shifts. It goes from preparation to, confronting the real, active, ever-present dangers. But before we get to the single biggest warning in this whole document, you need to understand a key term: unsupported ground. Basically, this is just raw, freshly excavated rock and earth. It's rock that hasn't been secured with bolts or mesh or concrete. It's the mountain in its natural state, which means it could be really, really unstable. And that brings us to the rule itself, and it couldn't be more direct. 5 simple words that carry an immense weight of danger. Yeah, this is not a suggestion. It is an absolute command drilled into every single person who goes down there, because a rockfall is, without a doubt, one of the most lethal threats in any mine. And look, the danger isn't just coming from above you. The very ground under your feet is a constant hazard. It's uneven, it's wet, it's covered in obstacles. And a simple slip down here isn't simple at all. I mean, we're talking about fractures, nasty open wounds, even crush injuries. You have to keep your eye on path, never rushing. So you've got to picture these tunnels. They're tight, they're dark, and you're sharing them with massive, heavy machinery. So how do you communicate when it's deafeningly loud? You use a simple horn code. 1 blast means an engine is firing up. 2 blasts means a machine is moving forward. 3 blasts, it's moving backwards. That's the language that keeps you safe when you're sharing a tiny path with a multi-ton vehicle. And then the form just kind of reminds you about the environment itself, which is basically an assault on your senses. Without your light, it is pitch black. I mean, total, absolute darkness. You've got intense heat and humidity, which brings the risk of heat stress. You've got the constant, deafening roar of machinery. And a very direct warning: if you have claustrophobia, do not go into an underground mine. Okay, so we've established the environment is hostile and hazards are literally everywhere. So, how do you talk to each other? And what in the world do you do when things go really wrong? Well, that's where the signals for survival come in. When it's way too loud to yell, your cap lamp basically becomes your voice. If you see someone waving their light back and forth, side to side, that means stop, go back, danger ahead. If they're waving it up and down, that means, okay, all clear, you can come forward. It's a silent, simple language that everyone has to understand. Now, this might be the most intense warning in the whole document. Stench gas is a gas they deliberately release into the ventilation system during a major emergency. And it has this powerful, disgusting smell of rotten eggs for a reason, so you can't miss it. The rule is simple. If you smell that, you don't ask questions, you don't wait for instructions, you move immediately to an exit or a safe area. That smell is the mine's fire alert. And what if you can't get out? Well, that's when you head for the designated safe havens deep inside the mine, like fresh air bases or sealed rescue chambers. And guess who gets you there? Yup, your host. It all comes back to that one core principle: trust the experienced person to lead you to safety. So when you put it all together, you start to see this isn't just some bureaucratic form, right? It's a blueprint for survival, carefully built from decades of experience and probably some really hard lessons learned. It's an amazing testament to the human ingenuity it takes to work safely in one of the most alien environments on this planet. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. Remember, this whole incredibly detailed system, this is just for a visitor, a temp. So just imagine, what are the rules for the people who do this every single day? What level of knowledge and constant vigilance does that take? What does their blueprint for survival look like?